And we are live with episode 2 of the 344 show. And I still want to say the Hotness Unleasher show, but I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there because this thing rolls out. I'm excited to be here. And I got the new background today. So I'm super pumped about that. I'm like on brand. I'm all together. Although my colors don't quite match, but they do in real life. So with that, I want to introduce everybody to Kristin Spencer. Many of you know her well, and have seen her in and around as a mega supporter of the Hotness Unleasher community. And we have just become great friends. And she was so awesome about jumping in and saying, yeah, I'll do the first couple shows of the 344, even though it's going to be a total train wreck and nobody's going to show up. I'll do it. I'm good. I'm on. I'm in. And so with that, I would like to give the floor to Kristin to tell us all about what it is that she sells in real life, on LinkedIn, off LinkedIn, to anybody who wants to buy it, because Kristin, it's all about you and about the problems you solve. So lay it on us.
Thank you so much, Trevor. First of all, my cheeks hurt from smiling too much already. So that's a great sign, which means that the show is not a dumpster fire. Although dumpster fires can be adorable. Can I just say that?
Well, that's why we go live, because sometimes things happen. You just can't stop it. All right. And Wendy, welcome. Wendy.
Yeah, hi, Wendy. I just had a call with Wendy the other week. Nice. And so, yeah, I mean, I help people fix their broken sales process based on the amazing backstories they don't realize are super important, right? I help them build know, like, and trust. I'm all about language. Ebony, thank you so much for noticing my hair color. It does match Trevor's set today.
Yes. Well, my own background doesn't match my set today. But anyway, okay. So we are on a tight clock here.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, like, who do you work with? Who do you want to work with? Who have you really resonated with?
So I really love working with business owners, either who they need help from the beginning, and I offer several different ways to help them for cheap. And I also teach them how to make their own money with one of my offers that's free. You just have to join a waiting list, because I know how frustrating it can be when you're first starting. You're like, I don't even know what words to make come out of my mouth to tell people what my superpower is, or maybe I'm not confident enough to speak about my superpower, even though I've helped this super long list of people. And that's when I'm like, okay, let me show you the way I see you with your own voice. And it creates this like amazing healing energy. And it also sells their stuff.
Yeah.
So
okay. So what I'm hearing, like, so you've got this new business owner, maybe they've been around a little while, and they're like, hey, I got to go digital. I got to get a website, or I got to do all this crazy social stuff. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know how to tap what I know and translate that into something that people will buy. And that's where you come in, right? That's the pain. That's
right. And I also help people who are like, I've been doing this for a while. I'm getting pretty well established, but I want that next level of growth because I'm ready, like, bring it. But they don't know, how do I change my offers? How do I create a high ticket offer? How do I talk to the people who are at the next level? Because I'm used to talking to these people around here, and I've got to go talk to them, and that's scary. And what do I say?
Yeah, nice. All right, so you just come in and you help them to deal with all that. Okay, great. So now, how did you even, like, I don't know, how did you realize that this was a thing? Like how did you step into that?
Yeah, so I'm a certified copy editor. I'm a best-selling author. I've written over 30 books, and I was in the space of helping people finish the dream fiction story they've always wanted, and that was my space. But when COVID happened, my husband couldn't work because he couldn't go into other people's houses. He was a painter at the time. And I was like, okay, all my clients, they don't want to pay for copy editing right now. How am I going to keep the heat on in my house? And that's when I had this like flash moment where I remembered that all my friends who are fiction writers who actually make money from their books were copywriters first. And I was like, I think I can do that. Like, I'm obsessed with storytelling. I geek out on sales psychology. Like, let me see if I can apply that to my own business as a test. And I was able to. And then I was like, this is the best. I get to meet all these amazing people. Let me help other people get that same growth based on how awesome they are and teach them how to talk about it.
Nice. All right. So lay it out. Like tell me, okay, how does it work? What's your process? And if I decide to hire Kristin Spencer, ghostwriting copywriter, what does that look like? Like, what is that? What do you do?
So copywriting is really old. We just don't think about how old it is because we're thinking about written words. But I did a podcast on this earlier today where I talked about the history of copywriting. And you know how, like, when you're in an open air market and you're walking down there and people are like, dude, my green beans are super fresh, or like, buy these nuts, they're amazing, they came from my grandfather's farm, right? That's copy, that's selling. You're saying what the benefit is of purchasing that specific thing. So I come in, I look at your business, I look at the results you can get, the benefits you bring, the pain your client is in, and I mush that all together. I interview you and I catch your voice. That's what's unique about me, is that I'm not just a copywriter, I'm also a ghostwriter, which I thought everyone could do up until about a year ago.
Okay.
But I catch your voice, I write as you to the people who need your help, and I do that for your whole business. I make sure everything matches up. And the thing that I had to go learn more about was offer creation, because I would hop on a call with someone and their business is amazing, but I realized I can't even write copy for them sometimes because they don't have an offer. They're like, oh, hire me and I'll do this random thing that I did for my uncle's cousin's brother's niece. And I'm just like, wait, no, like, we need to take a step back. So I totally geeked out on offer creation for 8 months. So that's what I bring that's different. I've got the ghostwriting component, but also I'm going to make sure your offer is set up so that when we're done working together, you can make money fast.
Nice. Now, you did sort of leak out a little bit as we were talking before this, that you actually have a way to measure that. So I'm curious about that too. Oh, dang. I said that. I've been trying to expunge curious from my vocabulary. So
why? That's such a useful word.
Well, I know, but I digress. I find it to be a triggering when I get a cold in mail, right, or a pitch slap, and they justify their inquiry based on that I'm supposed to be there to satiate their curiosity. Like somehow that's my motivator.
Oh,
being curious is one thing. Demonstrating curiosity is another. So let's just say, like, I'm intensely interested to know, like, if I hire you, how would you show me, like, you're making me money? Like, how do I mean, that seems like kind of hard. I mean, how's that work?
So it can be hard, and a lot of copywriters will tell you it's not my job to make sure that you get any of this ROI back, which is return on investment. For all my friends who are like building businesses and they're bootstrapping and they're learning the terminology, I love you. Trevor loves you. We're super excited you're here. But I have a way of knowing, because they're trying to convert people on discovery calls or paid consulting calls before they work with me. And after they work with me, I'm like, okay, pay attention to how your calls are going. Pay attention to what you're closing. Pay attention to what packages people are buying compared to before you worked with me. And like, let's measure that against the investment. And I will get emails from people that are like, 3x ROI. I just sold a $15,000 client after paying $5,000 to work with you. This is the first time that's happened. Or my schedule is full now. I'm good for the next year. Like, let's talk about the next step for 8 months from now when I'm ready to expand and start hiring my team. So It's been really exciting for me, and also a little unreal. And the truth is, like, everything that I help people do is based on personal connection through storytelling, because that's my background. I have a degree in comparative world literature. Who knew that could actually make me money?
Well, guess what? Apparently it's making you money, and it's making your customers money too. So I don't know what else we can ask for. All right. So now I got to ask one little sort of hard question.
Yeah, do it.
You don't have as many followers as most people on this platform do, right? And so that's, I mean, like it or not, right? And I don't always like it, because it's LinkedIn. It's like this bunch of cocks in the barnyard, just roostering around, and like, I got the most followers. I got the whatever. But here you are, like, you're kicking ass. You're taking names. You're delivering ROI with 748 followers or something. So talk to me about that a little bit. Like how do you, I don't know, reconcile that, or how do you speak to that?
Yeah, so actually, when we first met, I don't know if you remember this, but you screenshotted my profile when I came on the Hotness Unleashed. Well, I didn't know you were going to announce me. Actually, I was shocked.
Okay, well, you were so awesome, I couldn't help it.
You were like, Kristin has 212 followers. Everyone go follow her.
Okay.
I've even had people that are like, I don't think that you can do what you say because you don't have enough followers. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I don't have a ton of followers, but I'm interested in quality connections. I'm not going out there and blasting a bunch of people that I don't know and trying to
Mhm.
get my numbers up. And if you look at my recommendations, you can see that all of the people that I've worked with, and they're all, a lot of them are recent because I am newer to LinkedIn, that I'm showing up, I'm performing, and it's not all about numbers, right?
Mhm.
It's one of those things where people are like vanity metrics. And like, honestly, Trevor, I had the craziest experience where I went from being like a no one to being a micro influencer and having like over 100,000 views across different platforms for several months. And then everything just plummeted because the algorithm changed. Well,
Mm.
many of them changed,
Those
right? And
algos.
they're decentivizing, business,
Yeah.
like business content. So I was like, okay, what does this mean for me? What am I going to do? Am I going to wallow and like try to go after those metrics? Or am I going to look at where I've been making all my money? And where almost all of my money, like 98% of my clients came from? LinkedIn and networking events,
Nice. Well, what more
not
can you
from
ask for?
Instagram, not from, I did just
Yeah.
recently, I signed a new client from TikTok today, so I can't
Okay.
badmouth TikTok too much, but
No.
it's like we're doing all these things, but how often are we going back and looking at what did this result in? And so for me, I'm chill with having not a super, like huge amount of followers, not like a huge amount of influence, because when I work with people, they remember what I did for their business and they
Yeah.
refer other people, and I'm fine to grow that way. I have no
Perfect.
problem.
Well, and if I met you at 200 followers and now you've got 800 or something, whatever it is, you've gone like 4x. I mean, who can complain about that in the space of what, 3 or 4 months or something? So, well done. All right, let's just celebrate the fact that you're 4x over where you were, because I think I went from 200 to 800 and took me like 8 years or something.
Back in the old times of LinkedIn.
Yeah. I remember when I got to 500, I was like, it's party time. I'm like, I'm a player.
Yeah, I love
times
that.
have changed. Okay. So I'm super pumped. I want to hire you. Right? How do I do that? Like, what's that process look like? What's it going to cost?
Yeah, so I actually have several ways for people to test me out, make sure I can get them the results first. So we could hop on a discovery call, right? But one of the things that I offer is I have a paid consulting call. You pay me $297. I spend 30 minutes with you. I go write the 3 stories in your voice that you need to show up online, in networking events, in person, in front of someone in an interview, to be your confident, professional, amazing self. And normally when I do that for someone, they see what I've written. They're like, but how? And I'm like, it's hard to explain, but I've been a professional writer for 15 years. I know my voice really well. So that means I know not to write as me when I'm writing your stuff.
Okay. So for $300, I get 30 minutes and 3 stories, right?
Yeah. And you can use those everywhere. And then if you want to say, okay, I want you to look at my business, I do an offer audit for 1,000 where I actually spend 2 90-minute sessions with you, and I plug in all the holes for your business with bulleted copy that addresses all 3 different purchasing types, because people behave differently, and that's one of our jobs as copywriters, is we should know that. Not all of us do know that, but we should. And then if you're like, Kristin, I want to learn to write all this stuff, or I want you to write it, I have different offers for that. But the point is, let's get consistent. Let's point at the pain or the pleasure, whichever approach you choose. Pain converts better than pleasure does. But let's work together to get your brand consistent so that people start to trust you so they can buy from you. Because if there's no trust, they're not going to buy. It doesn't matter how much you show up.
Wow. Okay. So you go from $297 to $1,000, right? So at that point, I mean, as a personal brand developer guy, whatever, me just doing my thing here. So I could probably swing, maybe if I, was really hungry and just desperate, or really like now, like I could just, I could probably swing that, right? Like most everybody who's here at some level to do that. But it goes farther than 1,000, because I didn't know about the 297 deal, and that's really like that's our market right here, probably. But it goes beyond that, because a lot of people own actual real life businesses with like employees and stuff. So tell me about that. What does it look like for an actual business?
So if I come in and I'm doing all the foundational work for your business, it's a lot of research and writing and interviews for me. So those packages start at 10K. And that's actually really common amongst professionals in this space, is they're like, okay, I'm not going to come on board and spend hours researching and getting to know your team and getting to know your story and then writing all the junk and learning about your target audience for under 10K. So when I tell people that's my starting package, usually if they have a business and they've been around for a while, they're not surprised. They're like, oh, perfect. That's the perfect price. But when I tell someone who's been bootstrapping it for the last year that it costs 10K to have me write their stuff, they turn ashen. Their eyes get big. They just don't know. And that's why I try to educate people on my prices in my content. So because I never want them to be in that position to where they're like, I can't afford this. I'm so embarrassed. You should never be embarrassed about what you can afford and when you can afford it, especially when you're starting out.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I appreciate that transparency. I want to say thank you for coming on. I feel like I've really gotten a great overview of your business, which I didn't have before. And I hope that anybody listening to us live now, we did have, Ebony and Dean and Wendy come in and gave us, some nice comments. And, but you know what? We're out of time. It's 4:00. I promised my audience 16 minutes. You delivered. I think we covered most of our bases. So with that, I am going to say goodbye. Have a lovely evening or afternoon or wherever you are. And with that, we're signing off, people.